This is the pop-in module you're talking about?
Exactly. So the pop-in basically adds the buttons in here, and then this one even has a side piece to add even more on the side. And then the other two phones are basically have digital labeling. So this is the just the LCD digital label. It's identical otherwise, functionally identical. And then this is the it's just a it's a toy.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you mean by the I'm not understanding. You've got a second screen here and you've got...
It's Desi-less.
Yeah, so there's no...
Those are Desis.
What do you mean, Desi?
Well, basically,
The paper.
the paper shows the lines. So when you're calling out, like if we call my cell phone on here, it lights up a line, so you know you're on that.
Yeah.
On this phone, let me just answer this so it. Okay.
So it stops ringing.
Yeah, exactly. So it lights up a line on there, so you know when it's in use. Now, when you're on a
How many lines do you have on a phone?
well,
Standardly 2?
we usually put 3. So this one we put 3 call appearances. That's what CAP stands
Okay.
for. Call appearance 1, 2, and 3. But it's whatever the user wants.
And that's kind of dependent on if you're putting people on hold. You need those additional
Not
line
doing that
appearances.
much. The only where I would see this would be conference calling.
Good question.
How many on a standard phone here? How many people can I conference?
On a standard phone, you can do 3-party call, or actually 4, 2 internal and 2 external, quite easily by default. If you need to do more than that, you can send the calls to the conference bridge and have 8 or 16 people on a call.
Is the conference bridge part of the system?
It's a licensed add-on that we can put on it. So, do you have a need for greater than 4 people on?
I couldn't tell you the answer to the question properly. You know, I'd be willing to bet that sometimes yes.
Mm-hmm.
And what is the cost? Well, in general of that module.
The conference bridge of about $1,500.
Okay, and is that a one-time thing?
Mm-hmm.
And so 1,500. Okay, because we're paying like $50 a month for a conference.
Oh, for a service.
For a service.
How many people do you have on those calls?
Again, that's
Because the thing is that there is one disclaimer I should mention.
yeah.
If we put the conference bridge in here, it uses up lines on your AT&T service every time somebody calls into it. So if they're doing a conference call with 20 people, it can eat up the available lines pretty quick on the phone system.
I don't think they've ever done a 20 people conference
shit.
call.
If that's the case, it should be fine.
It's more like a 5 type. I would, you know.
Oh, 5 people? Then you know, save the $50 a month and get the built-in one. That's
Yeah, I would do that.
So what's it look like on here when you call your cell phone? This, like you did.
okay. Well, basically on here, that's the same. This is the doing
Yeah,
the
it's
same
your
thing.
cat 1,
Call
2,
appearance
3.
key, and then if you make a conference call, you just basically you're going to get another line going.
And then that's a BLF. So that's showing me that this is off hook.
That phone's in use.
It's monitoring that phone.
So essentially, you know, when this is what a caller would hear when they. Oh, this is just a sample. We put together an auto attendant. So if I call.
Oh yeah, I remember all that fun. God, I hate that. If you dial 6, you'll get somebody. You know.
Thank you for calling Mass Petition. If you know your party's extension, please enter it now.
So
For the spell by first name directory, press 2.
Please hold a moment.
I'm going to call that phone and leave a message in there. It shows you the caller ID of the person calling.
Okay. And
Sally.
Does not answer. To leave a message, press 1. To have the system try and locate this person, press 3. For other options,
Sally.
does not answer. Start recording at the tone. When you are done, press the pound key or hang up.
This is a test message from Dean for Sally. So I basically just left a message on that phone.
Okay, so
and-
the hang up is just standardly hanging the phone up?
Mhm. Yeah, you don't have to push any buttons. And if somebody's checking it from their
You
phone,
have one new message. To listen to your messages, press 5. To leave a message.
this is a test message from Dean for
You
Sally.
can even do it. So you have a key that's
The
already set
message
for
will be deleted
voicemail,
when you
right?
Yeah.
You don't have to put in a code?
No, well, that's programmable. We have this one set to bypass the code if the person calls from their own phone. But the code can be set so that
Oh, okay.
so if somebody were to sneak in their office and use their phone, it could still ask for the code. But they just push the button in the screen that says voicemail.
Okay. Can you set a phone to dial extensions only?
Yes, to be internal use only,
Yeah,
and maybe 911 in internal use.
yeah.
Absolutely. That's just a class of service profile that you can add to a phone so that
Okay,
any
you put
phone-
them in that class of service?
You tag them for that class of service, and they're an internal user.
Yeah, well, it's, how to say this right politely. We have a very large Spanish-Mexican contingent. Phones out on the floor, I don't want them dialing Mexico.
Yeah, I know we've done this for other clients. It's like,
Yeah.
I understand, and you can even have it set by time of day too. So if there's, we have some clients who have the phones become internal only after hours when supervisors.
No, I wouldn't.
How about if they dial the international code, it rings directly to Cliff's desk?
Yeah, well, he's gonna.
No, I don't need that either.
But the other features on the phone are, we have this phone set up, there's maybe how you might want to have yours set up, I'm not sure, but the button to do the paging, so if somebody wanted to do a
Right.
page, we could program
Yeah.
a hotkey. We have a headset button, so if a user has a headset, all they have to do is plug their headset into the jack there.
And it doesn't matter what brand or what anything, or
Well, all Plantronics, all the major brands work. Jabra Plantronics. I mean, there's some that they sell at Staples that are for really a home phone that.
Yeah.
But any of the commercial headsets work on this.
okay.
And all they have to do is hit the headset key to turn the headset on and off. You've got do not disturb capability. If
Take that away.
okay. Ability to forward calls if you want. So, but we can take that button off as well.
So those are all customizable depending
Well,
on
the
what
thing is,
your
the
needs
forward
are.
is that, okay, how do you set up the quote-unquote follow me? Is that a forward thing?
Oh, the follow me is basically that's a different feature that's pairing the phone with a cell phone.
Right.
And we would need to set a button, and the user would hit that and then punch in their cell phone number. We didn't put that on here, but
Right,
that's-
no, I'm just,
but that's not forward.
we had a problem with forwarding. Somebody broke into our phone system from the outside and call forwarded number to the Philippines.
Eesh, okay.
And then spent 72 hours on the phone straight.
Yeah.
A little over $3,000.
Oh boy. Well then,
So I've got forwarding turned off.
I can see why. Okay. That's the
But I want to have the follow me feature still on. You know what I'm saying?
good point. So we would basically put the follow feature on there, and somebody could then program their phone to do follow me.
Right.
Okay. Other buttons on the phone.
I have a question.
Oh, sure.
So can you upgrade this to a 24 button?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You just
Oh.
get it's just a button kit. So basically,
wow.
this one's been
Never
upgraded.
knew.
So
Yeah, that's what he said before.
so basically,
Nifty.
oh wait, this one came that way. Well, anyway, the you can buy them in 24, but if you want to go to the 24, it's basically this whole thing pops out and you can slide it in. They're all upgradable.
Yeah.
But
Nice.
this one's not. This one might not be downgradable. Is what I'm noticing. But that is okay. So yeah, that's all there is to it.
Well, I
Now-
just love those keyboard lights. Those are
oh the backlight.
just look wicked.
But you've got
Okay, recall, is that Redial, same.
Well, recall is the equivalent of doing that. It's basically it's the same thing as hitting the hook switch and going like that. Redial is essentially going to show you the last handful of numbers that you called, and as you scroll down and you find the one that you want, like if you want to call that number, then you just go off hook and the phone will dial it.
No, okay.
So it gives you the
That's
last,
probably the most used feature out of all the different funny features
the redial.
that I use.
Mm-hmm.
It's Redial.
So it'll give you a memory of the last numbers you've called.
What do we see under the feature button?
That's if you want to program your phone.
I see.
You can you can enter a feature code by hitting that. But a lot of the features we've already put on here, so we're not going to need to use it because we put the do not disturb. But if you didn't have do not disturb, you might want to access it using a feature code. But
No. No. Feature 85. Feature pound 85 turns it off.
and we can disable the ability
You
to even
remember all
enter the
those.
feature code. So the class of service
Well, I've had enough people over the last 10 years accidentally
accent
turn on
do not disturb.
D&D.
And you're not the only one. So one thing we can do to prevent those accidents from happening is
Yeah.
build a class of service profile that restricts and disables the ability from somebody from even turning it on by accident. So that means whenever
That's your main class of service.
yeah, so nobody has do not disturb ability. Would be fine. But other than that, I mean there is voicemail to email. So Steve set up this programming. So if we were to call, I should probably use this phone. If we were to call in on the
Yeah, which one is set to you? I mean,
you are on. Well, mine's that one. You're this one here. Did I call the wrong number? Oh, I dialed the wrong number. Okay, so 8 4647 7734.
are you doing recording the whole thing?
Yeah, why not?
Thank you for
I'm
calling.
surprised you're not
Mass
using your
Petition.
gizmo.
If you know your party's extension,
On
please enter it.
my GoPro with gimbal.
Please hold a moment.
We're running this on VoIP, so all the connections there's no standard PRIs, it's just all on VoIP right now.
Cliff.
Does not answer. Start recording at the tone. When you are done, press the pound key or hang up.
Hi Cliff, this is Dean. Please give me a call back. My number's 408-288-9300. Thanks. So when I leave you a message, if he set this up, we didn't test it because we didn't want you to get messages in your email, but you should be receiving a voicemail message in your email within the next couple of seconds. There's an audio attachment. It's also
Got
on the phone.
message
too.
waiting indicator.
Yeah. So anyway, that's how the voicemail system works. Oh, did it come in?
No, not yet.
It might take it a minute to